This is how the 1970 FIFA World Cup may have looked if all the countries involved had a similar wealth and population. Of course, different teams, different teams would have qualified if we were judging it by those factors, but we're working with what we got. The first match is Mexico versus Eurasia, also known as Soviet Union. It ended in a draw. Mexico will get 1 goal for the economic difference, and Mexico is going to come off with the win. So it's very important to look at it like this because it's a better determining factor of who's actually better when you consider economics, because high wealth and population gives you advantages. Uruguay beats Israel in their opening match. They also get a half goal for economic difference. Now over here the rating is a mix of score difference percentage and winning percentage. The next match is Peru versus Bulgaria. Peru comes out with a 3-2 win. There's no significant economic difference. Remember, economic difference includes both wealth amount and population amount. Next match, England versus Romania. England wins 1-0. Back in 1970, Romania will get the half goal for the economic difference, which can really help in draws, but it also helps with score difference percentage. So remember, we're using real scores from 1970 and just adjusting them based on the economics. Belgium wins against Salvador 3-0. Salvador will get 1 goal for the immense wealth and population difference. So Uruguay's in first, Mexico second, Belgium third, England fourth, Peru fifth. Next up, Italy versus Sweden. Israel in last place right now. Italy gets a 1-0 win. The economic difference handicap will cut the lead in half, but still a big win for Italy. And Sweden tied in 7th with Romania. West Germany versus Morocco. 2-1 was the final score in 1970. Morocco's going to get a whole goal for the economic difference, so it'll end in a draw. And Germany tied with Morocco, now in 6th place. Uruguay still in first with that immense rating, but Mexico not too far behind. Brazil versus Czechoslovakia. 4-1. Not even close. No significant economic difference according to the algorithm. So Brazil's going to take 3rd place. Czechoslovakia in 11th, under Salvador, above Soviet Union. Speaking of which, they're playing Belgium right now, and they get a huge win over Belgium. Belgium's going to get a whole goal for economic difference, but that'll cut the lead in half. Still a huge win for Soviet Union. And Belgium's now 1 win, 1 loss, right below them in 7th with Morocco and Germany, with a rating of 25. Uruguay versus Italy. Uruguay lost the match 0-1. Uruguay gets a whole goal for economic difference, so it's going to end in a draw. Italy will be in 6th, Uruguay in 3rd after that. Mexico now in 1st place, followed closely by Brazil. Peru versus Morocco. Big matchup. Peru gets a huge win against a surprising Moroccan team. And that will put Peru in 3rd place. Morocco will now be in 10th. Below Bulgaria, above Romania. Match 12, Romania versus Czechoslovakia. Romania with the win. No significant economic difference. Not enough for the algorithm anyway. And Romania will move up to 8th place. Czechoslovakia in 13th. Mexico versus Salvador. 4-0, not even close. Salvador is going to get a whole goal actually, so it'll make it 4-1, but still Mexico comfortably wins that game, and they are in first with a rating of 116.7, followed by Brazil with 110, and then Peru in 3rd with 100 rating. Sweden versus Israel. Big matchup. Sweden and Israel draw. However, Israel's going to get a half goal for economic difference, which is going to put them up, and that's what I'm talking about. That half goal in economic difference can really make a big difference in the standings. And Israel pulls off a surprising upset according to the economics, and they move up at 10th place, and Sweden doing terrible in 12th. Germany pummels Bulgaria 5-2. Bulgaria gets a whole goal, but the final, after economics are considered, is 5-3 in favor of West Germany, and Germany's in 6th place, below England, above Italy. Bulgaria in 12th, under Israel, above Sweden. Brazil versus England, 1-0. Brazil, they're going to get a half goal as well, I think. They do. So Brazil moves, that'll be enough to move Brazil up into first place with a rating of 119.3, just barely above Mexico. Peru in 3rd. Uruguay 4th, Germany 5th right now. Eurasia versus Salvador, 2-0. However, the immense difference in wealth population, Salvador is going to get 2.5 goals for economic difference. And that will give Salvador a narrow victory. And they'll move up to 12th place. Sweden versus Uruguay. Sweden wins 1-0. Uruguay gets a whole goal for economic difference, and that's going to end in a draw. Sweden in 10th place now, Uruguay in 4th. Next matchup, West Germany versus Peru. Peru having a great World Cup. And now, Germany gets a big win. Peru will get 1 goal for the economic difference. Final 3-2. Germany now in 4th. Peru in 5th, so it's close between them. Uruguay in 3rd. Brazil versus Romania. Can Brazil keep it up? It looks like they can. I think Romania might get a half goal here. They do, but Brazil's going to come out with a win. That's going to change. Brazil's going to go down to 2nd, though, because of the score difference percentage. So Mexico back in 1st, Uruguay in 3rd. They're all separated by pretty big numbers here, though. Romania down in 9th now. Mexico versus Belgium. Mexico gets a big win. No significant economic difference. Mexico has a lot more population, but Belgium has a lot more wealth. So Mexico retains first place with a huge rating of 121.5. Belgium down in 9th with a rating of 7.5. Italy versus Israel. Oh, that's bad for Italy. They finished the game in 1970 in a 0-0 draw, but Israel's going to get a whole goal for economic difference. And Israel up in the 7th place, surprising everybody, and under Soviet Union and above Romania right now. Bulgaria versus Morocco, 1-1. Morocco's actually going to get a half goal. That's surprising, and Morocco's going to come away with the victory. I wasn't expecting that. So Morocco moves up in 11th place. Bulgaria down in 15th place. England versus Czechoslovakia. England gets a 1-0 victory. Czechoslovakia get a half goal to cut it in half, but that's not going to be enough. And England's in 6th place. Czechoslovakia now last place with a record of 0 wins and 3 losses. Uruguay versus Eurasia in match 25. Uruguay gets the win. They're going to get 1.5 goals for economic difference, and they're going to have a very comfortable victory, and that's going to help their rating. They're up in 2nd now with a rating of 93.0. Soviet Union down with a rating of negative 1.8. Italy versus Mexico. 4-1 Italy. Wow. That is a disaster for Mexico. And Italy moves all the way up to 6th place with that. Mexico falls all the way down to 4th place. And Uruguay at 1st, Brazil 2nd, Germany 3rd as we go into match 27. Brazil versus Peru. Important match. Brazil comes out on top. I think Peru will get a half goal or a goal. They get a half goal. So Peru goes from 5th to 6th, and Brazil in 2nd, right below. Pretty close to Uruguay anyway. In rating. West Germany versus England. West Germany wins 3-2. No significant economic difference between the two countries, and Germany will retain 3rd place so far. England in 9th, under Romania, above Belgium. Next match, Brazil versus Uruguay. This is the important one, but Brazil comes out on top. Uruguay is not going to have enough. They're going to get 1 goal for economic difference. Brazil comes out with the win, and they take 1st place. Uruguay goes on 3rd, and now West Germany in 2nd. Mexico hanging in there in 4th, and Italy in 5th. Peru, honorable mention, in 6th. Italy versus West Germany, 4-3. Italy wins a big match, and that will take Germany to 5th and Italy to 4th. Mexico moves up to 3rd. As we go into the, I think this was the 3rd place match, West Germany versus Uruguay. 0-0. Uruguay's going to win it on the economic difference. So Germany finishes weak. And the final score after economics is considered a 0-1 in favor of Uruguay. And Uruguay will finish with a 66.7 rating and Germany with a 35.8 rating. As we go into the final, Brazil versus Italy. Brazil wins it. They're going to be able to maintain first place, I think. They even get a half goal for economic difference. Italy, big loss. Brazil, the rightful champions of 1970 FIFA World Cup. Uruguay 2nd, Mexico 3rd, West Germany 4th, Peru 5th, Italy 6th, Israel shocker in 7th, Romania 8th, England 9th, Belgium 10th, Morocco honorable mention. Last place Czechoslovakia, and Sweden, Salvador, and Bulgaria really struggled. We're bringing you the best ratings in the world from the worst announcer in the world.